Some wisdom is found on the surface, and some wisdom takes us deeper. Welcome to Get Deep, where we dive into the thoughts, truths, and affirmations that help us grow, reflect, and move forward. I'm Deborah D.E.E.P. Mouton, and every episode we'll explore the power of words, the strength of resilience, and the beauty of introspection. Come in, take a seat, and let's get deep. I was 23 years old when I moved to Houston. I was fresh out of college. I remember thinking I was going to go back to Los Angeles and become a real artist. That lasted for a year. I think I quickly learned that working 3 jobs and sleeping in my mother's guest room wasn't going to be the life that I wanted. And so I started making a plan to move somewhere else that may hold more opportunity, and Houston just felt right. I didn't have a home, any friends, or any family to welcome me. And I knew that it was going to be a little bit of a rough decision. I'm also a really good pre-planner, so I set up multiple interviews to make sure that I could, get a job, be able to sustain myself. But unfortunately, none of those panned out, and I found myself living in a hotel for the first 4 weeks I was there. Week 1 was a lot easier than the rest. I remember my family came in town to help me move, and every morning I would wake up kind of looking for a job and looking forward to what the possibility of today would be. I would go to interviews all day long and find myself exhausted by the end of the day. But I was ready to start again because I had such a great dream of moving to Texas. By week 2, my family was preparing to go back to California without me, and I still hadn't found a job or any roof over my head. But I believed fully that this is where I was supposed to be. I did another round of interviews with no callbacks and felt like I was floundering. But I think when you know what you're supposed to do and you know where you're supposed to be, you stick with it, maybe sometimes longer than you're supposed to. By week 3, I was going to the hotel manager asking if I could check out. He had become quick friends with my father, and they had made a plan that they would give me somewhere to stay even when I couldn't afford it. So unbeknownst to me, behind my back, there was this plan to keep me in the hotel as long as possible. He gave me the opportunity to negotiate a rate that brought it down to almost $20 a night for me to stay in a hotel room that originally was almost $160. I remember thinking how grateful I was that someone who didn't know me was willing to look out for me. But by week 4, it seemed like that gratefulness was waning, and so was my spirit to keep going. I remember the end of the week thinking that I was going to end up having to start taking showers in a McDonald's bathroom just to make it to my interviews. I knew that I couldn't afford to stay in the hotel even at the reduced rate, and also I had no leads in mind. But I think when your heart and your soul and your gut tell you something, you have to follow it all the way. You can't quit. There's no half doing it. So I went to my last few interviews, hoping for a part-time job for just the season that would get me through to the next thing. The day I checked out of the hotel, I remember thinking I had enough money to eat or to put gas in my car. I decided that I was really hungry. I drove to a CiCi's Pizza thinking that I could pocket pepperoni pizza in a napkin and hopefully get through the next day. And as I stepped out of my car, I got a phone call, one that offered me a job paying just enough to qualify for my apartment. I remember the first day I landed in that apartment laying on the white carpet floor, no furniture, none of my belongings, but thinking maybe this is what it means to come home. I quickly learned that home is not the materials. Home is not the things that I could carry in the back of a U-Haul or even the people who I learned to call family, but there was a home inside me that no one could take. There was a resolve that said, even when all things are stacked against me, I could find my way out. I could believe in something that could pull me forward. Sometimes you don't have anything but the dreams and thoughts and beliefs that won't leave you. And in those moments, you have to believe in yourself more than anything else. Bet on yourself. It may be the one thing that pans out like nothing else can. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. I hope this moment of reflection stays with you, guides you, and reminds you to keep going. If you found value in this episode, let's keep the conversation going. Follow me on Instagram at Live Life Deep and share your thoughts, your wisdom, and your light. And if you're enjoying the podcast, the best way to support it is simple. Subscribe, rate, and leave a review. Your support helps others find this space of growth and inspiration. This has been a Gemini's production. You can explore some of the other podcasts on the network by going to GeminisProductions.com or following on Instagram, TikTok, or YouTube at Gemini's Productions. Until next time, remember, you've been given today. What you do with it is up to you.